Mute and go.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to In Your House. And of course, I am your director, Hollywood House. And you guys already know them vibes. When we slide on through, we're here to give you that work when it comes to this professional wrestling business. And you know that we give it to you so well because when we do, we give it to you when we are on the road. Maybe y'all are on the plane. Maybe y'all are just waiting on your match. Maybe you are making towns. Maybe you need to pop us in your ears and let us give you that work. When it comes to this professional wrestling business, and guys, we are back. And no, don't adjust the podcast or anything like that. I understand that this is not Tuesday. No, this is Sunday. But we're giving you a little bit of Sunday work. You know why? Because we wanted to. All right, that's why. So don't ask questions. Just go ahead and take this work. All right, I ain't going to accept none of the questions, none of the talk back, none of the pushback. We ain't taking none of it. You guys going to take this extra content and you're going to like it. Okay, and you already know the big stepper is here back at In Your House. And guys, I got the whole gang with me. But before I go ahead and get to that, I got to get to this, and that's thank you guys. Thank you so much for making us a 5-star podcast on Apple Podcasts. It is truly appreciated. And thank you guys. Thank you. We've got a lot of big things coming up here down the line, guys. We got some big guests that's going to be coming down. We're going to talk about that a little bit later. And we're going to talk about that. We got to give you guys a cliffhanger, all right? Just a cliffhanger. Make you stay. You guys going to stay with us. You got with us on this Sunday. We are here on Day, and we are here giving you that work on Apple Podcasts and of course Spotify. All right, I didn't talk. I love to talk. You guys know that. But now I gotta share the stage a little bit. I know I gotta sit up here and let these motherfuckers come here and outstage me. And that is, of course, my great team here at In Your House. That is the co-host here, and of course, the producer of the video content. That is Hypocrisy Jones. How is it going, bro?
Yo, one of the biggest motherfuckers in the room. Maybe not like physically, but like my ego says so, bro. So like I'm in here, we are in here, we are in here with friends, man, and not just friends, man. This is a whole fucking team, right? Because In Your House is not just one person. It's a whole fucking team, bro. That brings you this work. So when we talk about giving you that work, you see it right here. You know, of course, my homie Hollywood House with that great introduction. Me being Hypocrisy Jones, the hypocritical one. And yo, let me introduce you to, not new people in the household. Y'all should know them, but first I'm gonna introduce the voice, Joshua Kuhn, and the Messiah himself, Juice Incredible, bro.
Man, I gotta say, we got the voice here, Josh Joseph. He's here, and this is his first appearance. You've been doing some work as far as your podcast, and you got an individual podcast that you do. You've been doing some watch longs here. Of course, you've been doing Friday Night Hype with my man Hypocrisy Jones, and now you're finally making your debut here on In Your House, man. So welcome, the voice, Josh Joseph. Welcome to In Your House, bro.
Well, thank you, both of you, for Hollywood, for you making this and bringing it to the world, and then for us to view and then be a part of now. Amazing thing. And Jones, you're my homie, man.
Yeah, bro.
I know you, you know me.
Yeah.
And we always have fun together. So we got the homie Jushin with us, man.
Yeah. This is a genius right here. Like, this is huge, right?
Because like I could fanboy out at any moment, guys.
Listen, man, real talk. Listen, real talk, man. Real talk. As far as Jushin goes, man, like this is a guy that's been really eating up behind the scenes. You know what I'm saying? Like the In Your House page, been jumping for many years, big part of the growth here at the In Your House podcast. You know, always appreciate that. But of course, Juice has been doing a lot of work as far as doing some graphics and stuff. The things that you see here, as far as some of the graphics that we do that's on the page, the graphics for the podcast and whatnot, it's all progressed and leveled up because of Jushin and his talents with web design and whatnot, and just his know-how as far as navigating on the internet and knowing how to build a community has been a big part of what we do here at In Your House. So now we have those opportunities every now and again where we get a chance to get him on the show. This was one of them where we all decided it was a good day to come together and talk about some wrestling. And now he's here, and we truly appreciate every time that my man Jushin come back through. So welcome back, bro.
Nice to be back.
We appreciate you. We appreciate you.
Hell
So
yeah.
hype,
What up?
man. It's been the last few days in professional wrestling. I know that you got some big things in the works, some big opportunities coming here down the line, and we're definitely going to get to that because I want to highlight those things. You know,
Yeah.
One thing is that you guys, seriously, we're doing big things here, and this team is a team that's trying to put together something special for y'all, something special to really grow the community and whatnot, and also do well and do things in professional wrestling like we aspire to do. And that's why the Household Productions label is becoming more prominent and whatnot, the services that we offer. And we're definitely going to go over that. We're going to talk about that. But generally, we just wanted to get together and discuss some professional wrestling. Just a few observations.
Wrestling.
Of course, we got our Tuesday show that's going to be coming up. We're going to talk about that. But I really enjoyed watching some of what I seen on SmackDown. There were some things that I noticed. It wasn't a banger show. I won't say that. It was just another one of those shows where it's like, we got to get through it. We got to get to the next week, because once again, as I've said many weeks on this show, it's a lull period for WWE. Where we still got a little bit until Survivor Series. So now this is where we're like, all right, we're going to try to give you what we can give you, maybe try to push some guys up and give them opportunities that maybe they hadn't had before. And we're kind of seeing that now with somebody by the name of L.A. Knight. Yeah. And we're really seeing him work his way up through the card. Now, I know earlier in the week, some of the sheets and whatnot, some of the wrestling news, what the little scuttlebutt was that LA Knight had re-signed a new deal for 5 years with the WWE, which locks him in for obviously the next 5 years as a WWE superstar. And really great time for him. Let's just say, okay, I'm just going to say this. Perfect timing for that guy's contract negotiations. That's for damn sure. I mean, the beautiful timing for him, because he's over in a time where his contract expired, and it's like, hey, we got to lock this guy in. We got something here, and they do. And and on Friday Night SmackDown, I feel like we saw we saw little things, little inklings here and there that they're going to now filter in LA Knight more prominently into Friday Night SmackDown. He's had big victories in the last few weeks, as we talked about the last week. We talked about some of the big victories that he's been picking up. Voice, I'm going to come to you first, man, as the real first timer here on the show. What are your thoughts on the progression, the evolution, the LA Knight effect that's going down on the WWE universe?
I'm here for it, honestly. I think he brings, honestly, with me, he brings back the old, what I grew up with as a wrestler, as a front man, as somebody who was making his mark. You had the Shawn Michaels when I was a young man, and he's just out there being the sexy boy. He's not your boy toy, but he was an entertainer, and he brought a new taste to wrestling at that moment. And then you go into Stone Cold and The Rock. Both those men brought in their taste. I mean, honestly, have you guys sat back and watched when Rocky Maivia started? Did you think that guy was going to go to what he did? No, but they changed directions at that time, and they built him to what he was. LA Knight's the same thing. We've seen him in the past doing things.
Iron Reigns. Sorry.
There you go. I mean, come on. You gotta understand that every time wrestling comes around and you start getting more fire to it and fans start coming in, they start teasing things and giving you a little glimpse here and there. And then all of a sudden that star catches. And this is LA Knight's catch. And now we're getting 5 more guaranteed years with him, at least being a part of the organization. I'm all for LA Knight, and I hope they slow build it more with him. Give us more. Like, I want a story with LA Knight. I want everything that he can give us on a mic. I want everything he can give us in a ring, and his competitors. He brings so much out of them. He's a fantastic asset to have in your organization right now.
Yeah, good point. I agree with that. He's an absolute asset. He's a veteran wrestler, as we know, many years in the Indies as Eli Drake, whether it be Impact Wrestling or NWA, and he's done a lot of work. I mean, this guy, it's not like LA Knight is somebody that's just jumped on the scene in just the last couple of years. He's not some body guy that the WWE has chosen to try to work through their system to be that guy. No, LA Knight is somebody who's worked in the indies for many years. He just so happens to have an incredible look. He just so happens to have incredible charisma, and he's a solid hand in the ring. And that almost sounds backhanded saying that, but like that's not backhanded. He's somebody that is good in the ring, somebody that can hold his own in the ring. This guy is the complete package where things are starting to come together for him, and it's come together so well for him that people have got to poke holes into what he's doing. Oh, he's too much like Stone Cold. Oh, he's too much like The Rock. So what?
Yeah.
So what? It's a happy throwback. It's a happy throwback on a guy that has worked the indies, somebody who we want to see succeed, somebody who's worked hard over the years, and somebody who's got a gimmick that just hits so hard that he can't be denied, because every single time he steps through the curtain, the pop is the same. It's not wearing off. It's not wearing off. It keeps on going. So, Hype, what are you thinking about the LA Knight effect here, bro, and from your mindset?
Yo, yeah. Yeah. What else do I need to say, bro? Like, it's just, yeah, I love LA Knight, and I've been on this train for a minute, yo. Like, so like I'm happy to see his push, and especially dude's about to get paid, got 5 more years, as the voice said. Like, more power to him, bro, and more power to what his potential could be in the WWE. Like I'm loving this feud that he's had with the Miz. I kind of want to see it keep going. I don't know if we're past that yet, but like I think that was great. And can continue to be great. And honestly, like I've been rooting for, like, give me a Miz and LA Knight tag team, because I think that would be absolute mage. I know I probably say that about a lot of people, but this I think would work, because you have the Hollywood A-lister with LA Knight, bro. It's just match made in heaven.
I agree. I definitely agree with that in terms of everything that he's bringing to the table. Like he said, in a lot of ways, he's a happy throwback. I enjoy his work. Like I said, I mean, how long is the LA Knight effect going to keep its effect? That's the question there. But right now, I don't think that that's something that we should zero in on, because as right now, it's consistent. And I think somebody like LA Knight, when he first started getting opportunities to not be, that Max Dupree guy, which even when he did the Max Dupree thing, he owned it. Like, he owned it as best he could, even though that was something that he really didn't want to do. And then he finally got that chance to be LA Knight, and of course had now we'll always remember LA Knight in this feud with Bray Wyatt. Rest in peace to Bray. And we'll always remember that, because it kind of feels like that's where the surge began for LA Knight. Like, when him and Bray were promoing off, and it seemed like that feud that was kind of designed to get Bray Wyatt back moving and back going again, and get his momentum again, in turn ended up being a feud that ended up getting LA Knight over. So now we're at that stage. We're here now with LA Knight. He's got a lot of big things brewing for him. Juice, LA Knight, what are you thinking, man? Are you with the train? Are you on board here? What are you thinking about the LA Knight effect?
For the next 2 years of his contract, sure. And I say that because Roman is too hot. LA Knight is not going to be the top of the company anytime soon, other than maybe merch sales. And he is basically the WWE Universe Mandela effect, because we've seen this time and time again. Wrestler gets hot, crowd loves them, and they go absolutely nowhere. 5-year deal is not enough for him to become the world champion and become the face of the company.
No,
And he's an older guy. Guys like Austin Theory
Yes.
can replace him immediately.
Yeah.
Austin Theory is the guy people should be focusing on, but the WWE messed up. And I will give LA Knight this. I forgot he was Max Dupree. He made
That's
me forget
good.
about that
Yeah.
character.
that
That's
is
a good thing.
So
But
wait,
they bungled his character so much that all he has right now is a catchphrase. That's all he is a catchphrase.
so how you
Yeah.
feel? How you feel about, since you brought up Austin Theory? How you feel about him and his interlinkings with I'm at a loss
Grayson
for a name.
Waller?
Yeah, I'm sorry, Grayson Waller.
That's a great
I
question.
love it. I love it.
Oh, we'll talk about that.
When I
So-
watch SmackDown, I usually watch it on mute, but when I looked up and saw they were together, I unmuted my TV.
So
Wow.
then you can't tell me that they're not also pushing guys like Austin Theory, right?
Yeah, they
At-
are, but LA Knight surpassed Austin Theory, and Austin Theory has been in the company far longer.
So I think let me hop in on that. I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that Austin Theory, I mean, sometimes luck beats talent. You know what I'm saying? And I think that with the opportunity like LA Knight, because he ended up being that guy, that it just such a it factor. And trust me, I know Theory. I love Theory. Theory's my guy. I mean, I've had a chance to talk to this man, but he still needs time to tap into who he is. Like I said into the group, if they put together, because let's talk about it now. From my point of view, I'm seeing a potential stable, and that's been the wave here with wrestling, is stables. And I would love to see the Miz take Grayson Waller and Theory under his wing and be this trio stable that Austin Theory can learn his charisma from guys like Grayson Waller, from guys like the Miz, and find how he's going to speak, how he's going to deliver. Because I think with Austin Theory, incredible athlete, lightweight, one of the best wrestlers in the company. I mean, the guy puts on smooth matches every single time that he goes out there, but people just don't.
Quick about that.
It could be the talk show
He has
guild.
the potential to be the next Will Ospreay if he gets his shit together.
I think so too. He, as far as his, and that's and people will say, "Oh, that's a hot take." Let me explain to you why I agree with that. And the reason I agree with that is because Austin Theory wrestles at the level of somebody like a Will Ospreay. Like those two would have an incredible match with each other, as opposed to what they can do in ring, as opposed to what they can do bell to bell, and how long they can last. I think Austin Theory is very underrated on being like one of those cardio guys that could last long in a match, much like how I was describing Gunther, much like how I was describing Gable, a cardiac hound, somebody who can go 20, 30 minutes. That's why I would love to see, and we'll talk about this, but we're talking about Theory right now. I would love to see Gunther and Gable in an Iron Man match, but we can talk about that. But as far as Theory goes, he's somebody that still needs to grow into a character, and I feel like that. Look at somebody like Finn Balor, look at somebody like Damian Priest, who are incredible professional wrestlers, but were just kind of floating around because nobody really truly cared about what they was doing. And then they came together with the Judgment Day, and now they care about the incredible wrestlers and what the incredible wrestlers are doing. I'm just saying, if you take somebody like Grayson Waller, who has this great natural charisma and ability, put him with somebody like The Miz, who's at a stage in his career where he's already given back. This dude didn't win one match this whole year, one match this whole year, and he's still more relevant than half the freaking card. It's just facts. It's just facts. So how can we get Austin Theory in a way that we care about him in a meaningful way like we do the Miz? You put him under that learning tree and you let Miz show him how, because literally I feel like that's the only thing missing from Austin Theory is why do we care?
I don't think any of those guys want to go Miz's route to getting over, because man, that was a long road, right? But it
was a long road.
It was
but they can learn from him.
But yeah, absolutely, they can learn from him.
Comfortable life. He's become the ultimate wrestler. He can just cruise on life right now.
He
You're
can.
not
He
wrong.
can. Hype, you had a thought?
He has Miz is and always will be one of my favorite wrestlers ever, just because of his grind and his work ethic. Because I think it's second to none. And the idea of seeing a faction, him leading a faction, I think is pretty good now, because he is in a more authoritative state, right? And like you could learn from his learning tree. And I don't know that if you want to form a talk show guild with him and Grayson Waller and Austin Theory, dude, I like it. I like it, bro. What do you
I do
think,
too.
boys?
Voice.
I totally agree with what you're saying. The reason why I think LA Knight got pushed further than Austin Theory, and what Jushin was talking about, is because LA Knight brings you a personality. He brings you more and an adaptability. And I'm not saying Austin Theory's not, he doesn't have a personality, but he needs more of that, because like Jones was saying, I'm sitting here and I'm wanting to buy into him. I really am. I'm wanting to be a fan. I want to support him, but it's like, I've seen that guy. I went to school with that guy. And it's just like, okay, you can go in the ring, and that's a big part of this. But the other part is, give me something. Give me something.
You're saying he needs a character,
He
and
does.
all
Yes,
means,
Yes,
exactly.
there we
Thank
are.
you, Jushin.
by all
There we are.
means, he had the perfect character in NXT when he was an airhead, but when you get him in the
Yes.
ring, he would kick your ass, and that was
Okay.
perfect. And then they just erased all of that.
I don't think they erased it. And you got to remember, there's layers to this shit, right? Like, I think he played that character in the family, in the Gargano family, very, very well. And but now, like, for a while now, it is overdone. He's been this cocky, arrogant, just douchebag, right? And I think there has to be more than that. There's reasons why, on the flip side, we love MJF for being a cocky, arrogant douchebag, right? Because
MJF is also cartoony, though.
yes,
Exactly.
because he's added those extra elements to that. Austin Theory hasn't figured out yet how to add those extra
Those
layers.
theatrics.
Yeah,
Those
He's got-
theatrics.
He's
without
going off
without
of
coming
Vince.
across like dumb, I think.
But Vince made him he made him a wrestling fuckboy. That
Yo,
was the character he put out there with Austin Theory. And that's what we had to buy into. And and by all means, Austin Theory can go. He can do it. But he needs go back to being the NXT dude. Go back to, or get with Miz and figure out something, because when Miz came, this wasn't the Miz we had.
so,
No,
listen,
it wasn't. We saw the growth.
listen.
Yeah.
So like I don't think Vince has ever he may have, I don't know his things, but like, I don't think he's ever went out there and put his hand directly up another wrestler's ass, right? And told them what to do and say. They do have scripts and shit, but at the same time, you can tweak your shit. You can make it more of your own. There are ways even to change something to your flavor, even if it's written out to you. Actors do this all the time.
Yes, they do. But in this business, though, and this is no actual, like, I think Vince McMahon's a god, but when God says, hey, why don't you start doing things this way? They listen, because he's going to sign your check.
Yeah, I think
So
you have to
I
listen.
really
you
think
on
Vince,
TV.
yeah, I think Vince really had a bigger hand than what you're thinking with
No.
Austin Theory's character.
I'm not saying he doesn't have a hand. He does have a hand, but also in the time that it was a weird time with Vince around, with Austin Theory, because I think we saw the onset dementia starting and all other sorts of things, right? So like, I mean, I'll give you some.
think
Yeah, he
Vince
had
was
to listen to
attracted to Theory.
Vince, but at the same time, Theory now has had the opportunity to grow and change from these things. He has Triple
Yes.
H in his ear.
Yes.
The
yes.
same guy that he was doing the airhead gimmick in NXT for, so
You're right.
so
you're right.
he
I should give him
has-
more of a chance.
yeah,
I-
there
yeah.
there is an element of, all right, what are you going to do with your moment, right? Because you're out there, right?
So Justin says and he said that that Vince was attracted to Theory, and that's why he pushed him so hard. I don't think that's completely a lie. Vince has always had those guys that he's like
big meaty men.
Yeah, like he has. There's a certain look that they have that he likes, that when he sees them, and I'm not implying nothing as far as Vince and what he like in the sack. I'm not implying nothing. I'm just saying
ain't kink shaming either.
No kink shaming, none of that. But I'm just saying he looks at them and he's like, "Hey, I like that look. I like you are cut in a way that I'm like, I would love to push you. I would love to make you like a face of my brand just based on how you look." And I think we've seen guys like that, like Randy Orton. Randy Orton was another guy that was just cut and made. Finn Balor is another one that they've tried to go back to a whole lot. Shawn Michaels was another one. He was another one of those guys. And Seth, and it's just a certain cut from a cloth that Vince likes, and he's like, I can make this work. And I think that's why Theory is one of the reasons why Theory is always going to get other chances. But the reason why, and you can see it, is because they've tried Theory doing different things, whether it be with The Way, whether it be now working with Grayson Waller, or whether it be his short time being one of Seth Rollins' disciples. For as long as that lasted, they keep trying to do things with Theory until it works, until it hits. And I think that one of the problems is that they've cornerstoned him in being a champion, especially that United States champion. And it's like, okay, so like, you're the youngest United States champion. Why do we care? Like that's cool. Like, you're obviously building your legacy in the company, but you're not doing anything that we care about. And I'm kind of seeing some of the Theory build. I'm seeing it in like how they want to try to work guys like Randy Orton. Like when Randy Orton would come in, and he was kind of the same way, kind of the cocky young upstart asshole that wins early and whatnot. And then he got injured, and then they start having Orton come out and do those weekly updates about where he was at with his injury and whatnot.
Those are
and
genius.
Then it was just little things like that. Like, you need to make Theory either put him more in the lane, because I'm in the mindset of saying that Grayson Waller, it has the charisma that the WWE wishes Theory had, and that's why they're putting them together right now. Because if you took the charisma that Grayson Waller has and put it inside the body of Austin Theory, I think you'd have the right components to be a guy that could be a top heel, and then later on possibly a top babyface after a good heel run.
That is true, but they have that man, and his name is Matt Riddle.
Riddle got to stay out of trouble, bro.
Yeah, he comes with baggage.
Yeah,
he got to stay out of trouble. And I know Randy did too. I'm not going to sit up here and say Randy didn't have his issues back in the day. But the thing about it is that Riddle's got to tighten up in the way that Randy did. They can't keep giving, because I remember back then there was little whispers like, man, they talking about releasing Randy Orton. They talking about releasing him. And then boom, he turns right back around and becomes one of the most over heels. Everybody these days talks about the menace that was 08-09 Randy Orton. Everybody talks about it, and became a perennial champion and a perennial winner in the WWE. Riddle has got to tighten himself up. He's got the potential to be that guy, especially being under the learning tree of somebody like Randy Orton, but he's got to tighten himself up. His personal issues are going to be the thing that has him not in the way of Randy Orton, but more in the way of somebody like Velveteen Dream.
And we definitely don't want the WWE to be his next UFC.
No, no. I like Riddle. Let me just say that I like Riddle. I just think that if he tightens up his issues, he's got the great marketability and whatnot. As far as his, I mean, he really seems like that stoner guy that will kick your ass. Like that's super marketable. Like that's super marketable. He just got to get out of his own way. That's all I'm saying if we're talking about Riddle.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, my previous statement, all I'm saying is that like he had things that like he needed to not do in the UFC that got him kicked out of the UFC because he wasn't willing to do some of those things. They were his fault, and I don't want that to happen for him in the WWE because he is one of my favorite characters as well, and seemingly one of my favorite wrestlers. because of the things that he can do in the ring, and in his character and his overall appeal in general. Like, Riddle is super likable, super duper likable, and like you can't not attach or, you know, grasp onto that. He just, I don't know. I don't want to knock him because I just don't want to see him fall.
I don't
in
want to
his
see him
own
fail
way.
neither. Yeah, I don't want to see him fail in any way, shape, or form. That's for sure. I want to see him thrive. I want to see him grow. I want to see good things for him. Let's transition here a little bit. We talked about theory quite a bit. This has been a really great episode, y'all, here on this Sunday. It's a little general discussion, or we're just talking all things wrestling. Something I do really want to talk about that I want to bring up is, now that we've seen the return of Jimmy Uso to SmackDown. We saw him return. He confronted John Cena and whatnot. And I want to talk about him as well. We'll get to it. But first, I want to talk about, we're now a couple weeks into Jimmy Uso returning to Friday Night SmackDown, and Jey Uso going over to Monday Night Raw. So we're not really in the thick of things as far as this story goes. We're still kind of here at the head of it and what it could be. But as far as this, we're now seeing distinctive differences in not just personality but also music between Jimmy and Jey. They're really focusing on pushing them both individually on different brands. I assume something's going to happen as far as them getting back on the same brand, at least in enough time to do the WrestleMania match that they've talked about, because I think that's what's coming. Right now, they're cooling off the Bloodline feud, or the Bloodline drama, that is, and letting them do their own thing. Hype, what are you thinking as far as this split between Jimmy and Jey, and what's your temperature on how they're being pushed and presented in WWE individually right now?
Yo, this is just a pause till Survivor Series, because they'll meet again then at some point in some way, to lengthen this to, yes, WrestleMania. Hopefully that happens. I can't remember if I said this on the pod on Wednesday or on Tuesday, but Jay got hoed in his music. I don't know who let him do that, but that down since it's all me. Like, I don't know. That
Yeah,
ain't
let's fix that.
that ain't hitting for me. Like, it's not hitting for me at all. But I like the split. Jimmy really has a long road ahead of him, because in the story now we're telling, he really wanted to be the right hand man, right? At the end of the day. And now he has to get up to the expectations that Jay made in being the right hand man, even though Jay doesn't want to have anything to do with this. So there's so many fucking layers to this, right? Like, and I love that. And that's hitting for me. And this long storytelling, I really grasp onto, because like, I can dig that more than I can dig some of the week to week things. Like, I really don't care about the Viking Raiders and the New Day with you know, McIntyre and Riddle right now, because it's not anything. You know what I mean?
It's not leading to nothing. Yeah, at least it don't seem like it is.
This is leading to something way more, and I don't know what it is, but I want to know.
Yeah, it's something that you actually want to tap into and follow. And once again, I know I've said this on the last couple of weeks, but even Heyman has alluded to, it's not like that everybody involved in the Bloodline hasn't hinted that this thing could get drug out for a while. It was either Jimmy or Jay on a podcast, and saying, you know, their goal is to fight their brother at WrestleMania at some point. Right. Paul Heyman himself even said, hey, we're only at the bottom of the third here with this Bloodline drama, you know? So it's not like they're not telling you up front, like, hey, this is what we're doing. You know, they're telling you if you're paying attention, but it's going to be a slow build to get there. And everybody that is saying it's moving slow and this and that, I get that. So even me, I'm like, I even caught myself like, man, the Bloodline feud ain't hitting like it was, but it's not hitting like it was because there's not so much more elements. We're simplifying it a little bit now because we have to. We got to drag it out until we get to moments where more significant things can happen, because you can't sit up there and just pop everybody by having Sammy pick the bloodline over Kevin Owens, like he did at a Survivor Series of the War Games, and then that happens, and then Sami Zayn finally turns on Roman Reigns. That's a big pop situation, which leads to a huge pop situation with Montreal and the Elimination Chamber and whatnot. So there's been different wrinkles, but now that it's just them, it's just kind of sliding along right now. I am curious about the element of LA Knight and Paul Heyman's interaction with him. I am curious about what is Jimmy angling toward. I didn't even think about the fact that he screwed over Jay so that way he can get in good with Roman Reigns and be groomed to be the next tribal chief. See, there's a little sibling rivalry in that situation there. Yeah. I mean, a lot of things that we can throw in there as far as this bloodline drama. Voice, where are you at with it as far as the split with Jimmy and Jay and everything going on with the bloodline?
My only question for this, because at first I'll tell you this, I'll be honest, I was not into the bloodline storyline when it first started. I thought,
okay,
oh great, here we go, they're just going to give Roman the belt, it's never going to change, blah blah blah. But then they hooked me with so many different elements, and then I got into it. So to me, with Heyman saying that this is the bottom of the third and then they split, I really could see, if they're going to do a traditional Survivor Series match, I could see both of them leading a team going in there, and then you can play even more in the storyline because one brother gets the victory, the other one goes down, the other one feels, oh, like I can't do it, whether they be Jimmy or Jay, whether it be Monday night or Friday night, SmackDown, Raw, you add to it, because then if Raw's side loses, then all the Raw guys can go against who, is Jimmy's on Raw?
Jay's on Raw.
Jay's on Raw, Jimmy's on SmackDown.
Jay's on Raw. So all the ones who were on Jay's team, they're pissed at him. So Jay's got to prove himself even more.
We ain't even hitting on the big thing right now, right? Like I love Jimmy and Jay in the Bloodline saga, but who does SmackDown get? Now, look, I miss SmackDown. I have not went back and rewatched, so if they covered this, I may be like hitting on something else or something dumb. But
I didn't hear anything about it.
Who does SmackDown get in this trade?
There was no trade. He quit.
No. On Raw, they said. They said that because Raw got Jay, SmackDown would be gaining
trade compensation.
Yes. So, I'm just waiting. I'm waiting because I know this is Cody Rhodes, and I'm waiting for this them to announce this.
It's Cody.
I think that's the biggest part of this, right? And who's hitting on that right now?
But see, here's the thing, though. Why was it Cody that went on the talk show on Payback, the Grayson Waller effect? Why was it him that came back to present Jay was coming to Monday Night Raw? Why him?
Right.
And we all know that Cody is a politician. Cody's been an EVP, as Michael Cole had alluded to on commentary. And so he's kind of politicking, and that's what we're seeing. We're seeing Cody the politician come through as he's kind of working some deals in his favor, so that way he can get his opportunity to finish this story.
That's what I see, man. That's how I see this, man. And I love how the layers of this story, they pull other wrestlers in. It's not just the bloodline, man. We are watching what has the evolution and de-evolution of the bloodline, and possibly re-evolution of the bloodline, along with building other people's stories on top of this. The things they did for Sammy and KO, I think, were great. Now, where they go from now here, I don't know, and I'm kind of confused. But I'm waiting to see what happens, right? But you look at Cody right now, oh man, I love this, and I love this story. And I think ultimately we're gonna get what we wanted. Maybe not in the way that we wanted, but what we wanted.
We're going to get there. I think to bounce off of what Voice was talking about a little bit, I would like to see, this is just me. I would like to see for Survivor Series, they do then we know the draft don't mean nothing, but just for brand purposes or whatever, let's do a Team Raw versus Team SmackDown, a War Games match for brand supremacy. Let's just say that brand supremacy. They could throw out any buzzword they want to, and people will buy into it. So just say we're doing it for brand supremacy, and then you just happen to have Jay. He qualifies for Team Raw, and Jimmy qualifies for Team SmackDown, and then like this is something that we've talked about. Like we're talking about brand supremacy. This is what it's all about. But then floating under the radar quietly is the fact that, hey, Jimmy is on Team SmackDown. Hey, Jay's on Team Raw. They've been away from each other. This is about to be the first time they face off against each other since Jay quit Raw. You know what I'm saying? If they did it like that. Oh, go ahead. Add to it.
Along with that, man, you have okay. So if Jimmy is on the SmackDown team, you know probably Solo will be somewhere near that, right?
Yeah, he'll be nearby.
He will be nearby. Maybe we get a Roman in there so he doesn't have to defend his title. And then on the other side, we get some Judgment Day action. So not only do we get this brother versus brother, we also get this faction versus faction.
Yeah. And you know what? It's funny. It's funny that you say that because Dominic Mysterio has been kind of hinting at Jey Uso to join the Judgment Day.
Yes.
So what if that, my goodness, what if that tied in there and that ended up happening? That would, man, because we all know that the Judgment Day, of course, runs Monday Night Raw, and now they're looking to run the entire WWE because now that they're the Undisputed Tag Team Champions, they can go between both shows, which now makes Roman Reigns eligible for Damian Priest to cash in on.
Yeah,
he can cash in on either champion because he can go between both shows. They made sure to highlight that. So now not only does Seth Rollins got to watch his back, and I'm not talking about his back injuries from Shinsuke Nakamura.
You talking about a C4?
Talking about that one.
Yeah.
But now Roman Reigns, with all his family drama, now has to keep looking over his shoulder when he shows up to see if Damian Priest is going to come cash in on him. I think that with this bloodline thing, kind of like what you were saying, Hype, is that it has this gravitational pull right now as to where it's doing stuff for the immediate members of the bloodline, but then other people are kind of benefiting from their drama as well by getting TV time and getting mixed into it. So I think it's good stuff. And even AJ Styles is getting into it with his own faction because they try to tell him, Carl Anderson and Doc Gallows tried to tell him, don't get involved in the bloodline drama. And what did AJ Styles do? Got involved in the bloodline drama. So it's like a gravitational pull that's going on with the bloodline, to where even though everybody has these different things going on, somehow, some way, every other segment, it still ties back to the bloodline.
Yeah. They made.
I would like to piggyback off one comment you said, Jones.
What's that?
And that was during the Survivor Series match. You alluded to the bloodline and also Judgment Day being there. So let's say Solo's not in the match, but he's the enforcer on the outside.
Okay.
And let's just say you have Rhea as an enforcer on the outside. And then you have Rhea say she gets into a little thing with Solo. Okay. So now you've intertwined Judgment Day and the bloodline even more for like a supremacy takeover. And because you for Judgment Day,
I think it would be callbacks because they've already had similar interactions, like some face to face sort of things.
Yes, but now there's that element of the was it Jay? They were trying to bring Jay in.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're trying to bring Jay in.
So now you have that element, and it's like that gives Roman a more of a way to spiral out of control, you know?
Yeah.
Because he knows what he lost with Jay. You can't tell me in the story that Roman in the back of his head's like, yeah, this was a great move. No, it wasn't a great move.
Well, that was his pinball, bro.
That idea right there, Josh, is piggybacks into my idea. But go ahead, I'm gonna let you finish what you were saying.
Oh no, I'm there. I'm just saying, you know, that to me, Roman, that's got to play in the back of his head.
What you got, bro?
To that point of Roman feeling like he shouldn't have let Jay go. Jay, if it's not going to be Chad Gable that defeats Gunther, it should be Jay. Then
All
at
right.
Survivor Series, he can beat Gunther and let Jimmy lead his own team at Survivor Series to win. That way, they both get a victory. Both of them can say, you know, I'm better than the other, but then Jay can hold over his brother's head. I've won a championship. What have you done with the bloodline? That's another point of contention with the whole family. Roman's feeling torn. He might have chosen the wrong brother because the other brother is doing better without them.
Yeah.
So a little one-upmanship as far as the sibling rivalry goes.
We all know Solo gonna wreck them all, right?
Solo has been the key element, and who knows? Honestly, who knows? I'll just say this. I'll put this on top of this. It's probably not going to happen, but with the rate that this storyline is going, and the way that Samoans love to fast track their children into the business, we could possibly somehow see Zilla Fatu get involved in a bloodline drama at some point. That would be an interesting wrinkle as well.
You're not wrong.
But a whole lot of stuff going on with the bloodline, and we definitely love to see it. Now, during that whole little conversation that we had involving the bloodline, Jimmy and Jay and whatnot, I brought up something that I kind of wanted to talk about and kind of get your guys' thought about it. Before I do that, one more time, I want to thank you guys for listening to us here. You can catch us on YouTube. You can catch us on Twitch. We got this episode coming to you shortly after the streams. We'll get you the podcast version for you guys to listen to if you guys are podcast listeners, whether it be locally, nationally, or internationally. We do appreciate y'all's patronage in every way. I want to say this as far as great matches and great stories that have been building over there on Monday Night Raw. We talked a little bit about stories with like the Bloodline, storylines with the Judgment Day. I want to talk about a storyline that's kind of been building with Gunther and Chad Gable and everything that's going back and forth with that. I kind of thrown something out there is that if they wanted to do something at Fastlane in Indianapolis, which I'll be attending that event, they wanted to have Gunther versus Chad Gable in a 30 to 60. I don't care either one. I don't know if they want to do 60, but they might do a 30-minute. I'd let's see 60 honestly, but a 30-minute Iron Man match for the Intercontinental Championship and see where that goes and kind of see, because like I said, they're cardio hounds. They've already built up a history, and I would do it under the stipulation of this. Chad Gable comes out and says, I know I can beat you. Gunther, I know I can beat you. I beat you before, but I know I can beat you decisively. Come out here and accept my challenge. One more match like a man. Come out here and accept it. Gunther, of course, Gunther ain't no bitch. So Gunther, of course, is going to come out and he's going to say, you know what? You really don't deserve a chance, but I'll give you one more chance. One last chance. But if you can't beat me, if you fail this time, you will never get another shot at the Intercontinental Championship as long as I am champion. And Gable has to accept on those terms, or else he's not going to get an opportunity. And of course, we up the ante and we make it an Iron Man match, and that would be the perfect opportunity. Not only do you create a moment for Chad Gable, you create a moment for Fastlane there in Indianapolis. Everybody's going to be firmly behind Chad Gable because of the way that Chad Gable's been built into a top babyface. And Gunther, who already has the record, he is now the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion, undisputed, longest reigning, no question on that. He got it. Now you can kind of move on from the Intercontinental Champion on him. Everybody, I think, for the most part, is in the agreement that Chad Gable would be a great next Intercontinental Champion. And
Yes.
And Gunther can move on to what he's going to do next. Voice, what are you thinking about the potential of an Iron Man match, 30, 60 minutes? What would you like to see between Gunther and Chad Gable for the Intercontinental Championship?
Well, sign me up for that one. I'm a sucker for any Iron Man match. I will say this though, when when I seen that this match was not a part of the last pay-per-view, I was disappointed. But after finding out that there's a chance for this Fastlane Iron Man match and everything, I don't care about my disappointments because I want to see it. I want to see these two because the two that they're putting in there, Gunther and Gable, you're gonna get everything that they can put into a match, and it's gonna be brute, just beats, hits, and it's gonna be a well-balanced ballet because these two know their craft. These two are the peak of professionalism when it comes to being in a ring, and they're the ones who want to make every fan, everybody who tunes in, everybody who bought a ticket, hear every hit that they give each other. So I'm really excited for this.
Sorry to butt in, but it will be the Chris Benoit versus Kurt Angle of the new generation.
Ooh, I
Okay.
like
I
that.
like that.
Don't
I
ever
like
apologize
that.
for a take like that, man.
Yeah.
I like that.
Nah,
That's
Juice, you
good.
got to jump in, bro.
Hype. Where you at? Because you just made that huge take. Of course, I would love to get more of what Juice is thinking. Hype, where are you at right now? Especially after that take right there.
Ooh, after that take, that take is pretty spicy, honestly. Like I like it. It's spicy in a good way and shit like that. And I was just looking over this past match that Gunther and Chad Gable have. Everybody is touting it. It got backstage like applauds and shit like that. So like,
Yeah.
like I'm for them going with it and going forward. I think we were at a point a long time ago. We saw, all right, Chad Gable could be a good champion. All right, he could hold that title. I'm not confident in the fact that he will hold it long in any sense, or that they'll allow him to have a substantial reign with it. But I could see him with the title. But like you were saying earlier, though, I could see a Jay with the title. I could honestly see a Jimmy with the title, and to keep it on honestly the same level that Gunther has placed it on. So
Yeah.
To me, it's all about whoever is going to be whoever is going to be champion after Gunther. He's got to hit in some kind of way. I'm not saying that he has a title reign anywhere similar to Gunther, but it's got to be like kind of meaningful, just because like we're off of like a once in a lifetime intercontinental championship reign. I mean, literally until somebody can come through and beat that, and I don't know when that's going to be. I mean, Gunther has cemented himself like firmly as one of the guys in WWE that not only they trust, but they're going to do a whole lot with him moving forward. I mean, that kind of cemented that for me.
So equal flip. Look at what they did in AEW. Sorry, Juice.
Do this. Yeah. They should do this. Have the Iron Man match. Let Gunther get the first fall to prove that he's always the dominant one when it comes to getting the first fall. But let Chad Gable win. You pay the story off. Immediately after that, well, not immediately, but like a few weeks after that, maybe even that Survivor Series, let Jay beat Gable. Yeah. That way the championship continues to mean something.
I'm not against that.
I'm not mad at that.
I'm not against that.
I'm not mad at that at all. But also, if you flip it, look at what AEW did with the international championship with Orange.
Yes.
Right? He had a historic title reign for that company, for that belt.
For himself.
And for himself, yeah.
Absolutely.
And they didn't pass it on to another up and comer. They put it
to one of their top guys.
Yeah, they put it on Moxley. So whoever beats Moxley for it can have a similar run to Orange.
I could see that because it's got to be somebody that they're really believing in to take that international championship off of them. I love the build.
It's probably going to be like a Yuta or like
the
somebody.
Ricky Starks, Daniel Bryan dynamic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Most definitely. Man, we're talking about some wrestling here. So much going on, so much that's going to be moving forward. And we talk a little bit about AEW. I know I wanted to talk about everything that's still going on with MJF. MJF still moving, still shaking, still the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. But Hype, I want to go ahead and let you lead us into one because you normally do, man. Like I've been steering this thing. I'm about to go ahead and give you the wheel right now, throw it to you, and go ahead and kind of fast track us into the situation as far as what's going on with MJF and Samoa Joe.
So honestly, like I said, I have missed some of this weekend's wrestling. So pardon me if I'm not aware, but I do know at All Out we had the infamous push and MJF reacting to that, which was a callback to NXT days.
Yes.
Which I love the dynamic of this feud, and then I do know from following last night that Samoa Joe won at least his match in the tournament, or
his eliminator match.
Yeah. So he is going to keep going on. So we are going to build to MJF and Samoa Joe, and that's piggybacking off of man who will not be named.
Are we though? Are we? Because there's also the story of Adam Cole and Roderick Strong, who is also part of the world title picture.
So you think the Samoa Joe direction was the direction?
I think right now AEW is giving Joe his respect for dealing with CM Punk.
Yeah, I think so too. He's a smart guy to go to. But I think the direction that we were going, because Punk winning the match versus Joe was going to be another Punk and MJF. So then, since we didn't have that, then now we have the Samoa Joe, which I love the way they built it, and they built it quickly off of the back of just a small push, and I think it is the right direction to go.
So can I chime in real quick and just throw this out there? So like, if let's say he who we will not name
Voldemort
is still with the company, and he doesn't get fired, does the Samoa Joe push to MJF still happen?
I think maybe later on down the line it does.
Yeah.
Because I think it's still something that would have been utilized when they saw each other.
That's definitely something they could utilize. Yeah, they just kind of fast tracked it. I mean, not to say they fast tracked it, because it wasn't like sloppily done or anything like that. But like they could have, like he could have done that push, and then if things were still hanging up in the air, they didn't have to call back to that push like as quickly as they did. They could have let that linger a little bit, and then call back to it at another time. But they chose to do it when they did it and build this feud quicker than what it's coming. And then of course we have this eliminator. So I guess let me ask y'all this, and anybody who wants to chime in first, you can chime in. When do we get MJF and Samoa Joe? When is that happening for the title? Is it going to be at one of their weekly shows after next Wednesday?
It's Roderick Strong versus Samoa Joe for the finals to see who goes against MJF. And if you go by exactly what everybody's been saying, you have your Roderick Strong Adam Cole feud. So that goes, Adam Cole can be like, you can even beat Samoa Joe, and then Samoa Joe goes on and he faces MJF, and then there's your stories.
So
they've all matched up.
To kind of go off of what Juice was saying, I think you kind of piggyback off of both stories themselves, and maybe you hold off on MJF and Samoa Joe actually touching, but flop this time. So then we have MJF actually going up against Roderick Strong, and then Adam Cole and Samoa Joe mini beefing off to the side too. So that we elongate this story and kind of tie in more of the tag team story.
How do you, with the story though, but how do you make me believe that Roderick Strong is going to beat the Samoa Joe of today?
The Kingdom.
Yeah.
Especially when he's got...
it's with the Kingdom, bro.
But you got MJF who has... They're building something with him and Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe, his whole being in a ring is respect.
I mean
that's why you have the Kingdom. They're all heels. They just simply jump him.
Yeah, I got you. But
Yeah,
I guess I'm just buying too much into Samoa Joe.
I mean,
no,
you know,
I that's
some
not my bad. That's not to say that Samoa Joe isn't a dominant guy. Samoa Joe, I mean, if they wanted to pull the trigger on this Samoa Joe MJF thing, I do see Samoa Joe as a legitimate threat to MJF's championship reign
Wouldn't
in a
even need the
one-on-one
tournament.
competition. No, he wouldn't need it. He wouldn't need that opportunity. It's something that, because obviously, so just like what you was saying, if for whatever reason, Samoa Joe lost in the tournament, when MJF got pushed, he's the one who ran in the ring, and he's the one who started to beat up on Samoa Joe. So he felt triggered, and he went and he beat up on Samoa Joe, and then he made it the point to go on Smack, or not SmackDown, I'm sorry, to go on Dynamite in Indianapolis and confront Samoa Joe. This is a thing where it's like MJF is making it his problem, so he could still face Roderick Strong for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship, but MJF still would have unfinished business with Samoa Joe, because it's not about the title, it's about the fact that at some point, the respect at some point in MJF's life, in MJF's career, Samoa Joe made him feel like he was small, made him feel like he was a piece of shit, make him feel like that he was the bottom of Samoa Joe's shoe. But now,
another point to that is MJF is known for paying people to deal with his problems for him.
Right.
He could simply pay the Kingdom.
Yeah.
He could pay Roddy
if he wanted to. But I'm not sure. Because I don't think the Kingdom messing with him right now, especially with everything going on with him and Roderick Strong. Him and Rod ain't friends, and he has been known to pay him off. But I also know that I'm not sure the lane with MJF, because right now they're pushing him heavily baby. And I think that his issue with Samoa Joe stems more from a mindset mentally where it's like, you made me feel small, so now I'm about to beat you. I'm the top guy here. I'm about to beat you. I'm about to do it my way, and I'm about to do it on my terms, because you made me feel like I wasn't shit back in the day, and now you want to sit up here and disrespect me as the AEW champion, as the top guy in this company. You want to push me like I'm doing some security role, like I'm sitting over here doing extra work. Bro, no, I'm not sitting here doing extra work. I'm the guy right now. I got what you wish that you had. So you want to sit up here and push me, I'm going to beat you on my terms. And I think that's more the lane we can go with Samoa Joe and MJF.
I think
Go ahead,
I think Juice is right though. I think Juice is right,
I don't
because
see MJF doing that.
I see MJF using the Kingdom in his back pocket. Even if he's heel right now, he still always has the next play. The Devil's never done playing, bro.
Oh, he's not. That's true. I was just presenting that if that's how they're presenting him, as far as like this guy that is like, I want to settle this on my own. Now, I know that MJF, he's going to get the job done however necessary. But I feel like in this one case, because it's more emotionally driven than anything else, he feel like he got a point to prove. That's the mindset I'm coming from as far as that goes.
We got some.
I just want to take a moment,
comments.
to shout out the chat. Yeah, go ahead, boys. Go ahead.
Yeah, we got
Go
some
ahead, bro.
great comments. Johnny Wicked, I don't think MJF versus Joe would have been done properly prior to now. But with the mutual history, brief as it may be, now the timing is great due to MJF's overall mic and in-ring maturity growing tremendously since the NXT push. Also with Johnny Wicked, he says it's about that Joe chip on MJF's shoulder.
Yeah, I think that's what it's about.
I kind of agree with that one.
Yeah.
Did you want to take the last one, Jones?
Sure. Yeah, we also have Montanez 1998. He says that he would book Adam Cole versus Roddy and have at Grand Slam and have Kyle return to help Roddy.
Ooh,
that would be interesting.
O'Reilly, huh? Kyle, bring in a Kyle O'Reilly, huh? So first off, before we dig into this, Johnny Wicked and Montanez 1998, thank you for following us. Thank you for watching us. Thank you for rolling with us. We appreciate it, and thank you for interacting. So they were talking a little bit about MJF and Joe. That's interesting. Go ahead. Also,
we have another chat on the YouTube stream. Daniel said Joe's a machine. The fact he can still go like this at this stage in his career, being 44, which isn't really young as a wrestler, is impressive. It's nice to see Joe getting his roses.
It's absolutely. He hasn't aged a day.
Yeah.
He really hasn't.
Yo, really shout out the household real quick. Just everybody that's in the chat. We appreciate you.
No doubt.
Keep all that coming, yo.
No doubt, man. No doubt. We do appreciate y'all's interactions. Man, I gotta agree. Joe is an absolute machine. Thank you for that comment, Daniel. And him being 44, and things are starting to come on the upswing for Samoa Joe. Of course, we know he's also the Ring of Honor World Television Champion while he's working his way up the card, the main card that is for AEW.
So
But
another
also,
reason why I don't think why he'll get pushed to the world title.
Oh, good point.
But also, I also want to highlight the fact that things are happening outside of professional wrestling for Joe, as he played, Sweet Tooth on the Twisted Metal series. So obviously, this is a guy that even in his older age at 44, he's still like putting himself out there, making the Samoa Joe brand even bigger, and getting involved in acting, because that's a damn big role for him. That is a damn big role. That's
pretty funny.
Yo,
too.
so give me the refresh real quick. When's the end of the eliminator tournament?
Wednesday.
Okay, does the finalist of that, does he go on to Grand Slam?
He goes on to face MJF
at Grand Slam.
Yeah, at the Arthur Ashe Stadium.
Okay, cool. I'm sorry, I was confused on that. So, I was thinking maybe Joe loses his TV title beforehand, but that may be throwing too many monkeys in the wrench. So, like, I was trying to get a point where we get Roddy taking that TV title off of Joe and using that to push with his with the Adam Cole storyline.
That would be great, because then you'd get that title off Joe walking around looking like a kid's title.
Right.
It looks like he went to Toys R Us and picked up a little title and they threw it on his shoulder.
He's so much
seen
bigger
that last
than that
night,
title.
and I was
He's so much,
he's
so much bigger than that title.
Where's it?
Yeah, he always carries it around.
I
don't think he can either.
Yeah.
But I would love to see Roddy and Samoa Joe go at it again, especially if they did it at like Ring of Honor. Like, I know that's kind of more like their developmental thing, but do it on like a super card or something like that for the television championship, and make it really big, because like, you got to think Roddy and Samoa Joe for years, and especially on that Ring of Honor stage, have been putting on bangers against each other, most prominently in Ring of Honor. So if they did those two up against each other for the television championship, I think that would be a banger match, just because of the way those both can go at their age, and it would be a happy throwback and nostalgia for the bangers they used to have in Ring of Honor back in the day. Voice, where you at?
The match that's coming up now is going to be super emotional for both of them, because it's all involving emotions. MJF is getting emotional with Samoa Joe, and then Roddy's getting emotional with Adam Cole, who's currently MJF's best friend.
Yeah,
it's a real deep world title picture right now.
Yeah,
it's getting deeper. Voice, what you think?
Well, honestly, I'm really liking the story with the Adam Cole and Roderick Strong and MJF and Samoa Joe. I've been a Samoa Joe mark since I first seen that beast walk into a ring, and he's impressed me every time. His matches he went with against AJ Styles and TNA. I mean, come on, that there can entertain you for an afternoon. He's so great. And MJF, there you go.
There you go,
there
baby.
You go, man. And MJF, I'm a huge fan for him too. I mean, I remember a year ago, people were talking in different shows I was listening to on Twitch, and they're saying, "Oh, MJF, he doesn't even wrestle every week. He doesn't do this. He does." I'm like, dude, you guys are missing it. You're missing the masterpiece.
You're missing the best part of him.
Yeah,
yes.
Like him on a mic. That's an epic night right there. Just whatever he can come up with. So I'm in for this. Jushin, I had a question, since I know you watched last night, and how she might have heard. What is this Dream pay-per-view that they're doing?
It's New Japan versus AEW, essentially.
Okay, so could you do the ROH title there with Joe and have him drop it there? Or
probably could, but that's in October.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh, so it's a minute away. It's a little bit. What is it? Is that October 1st? Is it October 1st?
Yeah, the first announced match is Daniel Bryan versus Zack Sabre Jr., which is an absolute dream match.
Okay, I'm pulling it up here. So it's Wrestle Dream, an event that'll honor Antonio Inoki. I'm sorry, Inoki. And okay. So this is kind of a little crossover event then.
Yeah.
That'll be interesting. Where's I'm not seeing it here. Where's it going down at? Do they have a location?
I don't think they announced it yet.
Yeah, I haven't heard.
I would like to. We'll definitely look into that. So I mean, that's going to be a great event. That should be an interesting event. And that's going to house many storylines. But I also do like the element of what we're seeing here at AEW. In terms of this big, it's like it's. I'm not saying it's like the Bloodline thing. It's not. It's its own little thing. But it seems like the situation with MJF and Adam Cole is kind of causing a gravitational pull that's pulling other people into their story, and now we're getting we have a reason to kind of care about Roderick Strong, because Roderick Strong seemed like the jealous girlfriend in this situation.
It's an action drama versus a drama comedy.
Yes, yes. And then you have Samoa Joe, who came in and just decided to pick a fight, because that's just so typical of Samoa Joe to just come in here out of nowhere and just be like, hey, I'm not really dealing with you right now, but hey, fuck you. And it's just that's just Samoa Joe. So like, I like the element. I like everything that's going on. Wrestling is, of course, just gonna do what wrestling does, and the carousel just keeps on going. And it's fun. It's
the Wrestle
great.
Dream AEW show will be October 1st, 2023 in Seattle, Washington.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And it's looking like it'll be Zack Sabre Jr. versus Bryan Danielson.
Yeah.
Yes. Kind of alluded to that. And that's gonna be great. That's gonna be great. I love Zack Sabre Jr. Anytime I get a chance to watch him, I enjoy it, just because he really is like a technician's technician. Like the things that guy can do in the ring, and his joint manipulation, and his he's just
fucking
so
octopus.
He's slithery, bro. He's so slithery the way he moves around in the ring. And then
Bryan
Danielson, are you kidding me? Are you kidding?
Right. This match will have no wasted movements.
No.
Every move, every step is going to be precise and calculated. I'm so looking forward to this one.
Are you kidding me? These two? I mean, come on. Like, that's gonna be a banger. I mean, I don't know what else to say. Put those two together, and the elements of the wrestler that Zack Sabre Jr. is, and the Swiss Army knife in the ring that Bryan Danielson is, because he can really fit into any kind of style as far as a man of his size and whatnot. If you want him to go fast, he can go fast. If you want him to break him down on the mat, he can break it down on the mat. If he needs to brawl, he can brawl. We've seen all those elements from Bryan Danielson over the years, and to put that in a situation with Zack Sabre Jr. is I mean, that's just a recipe for some beautiful violence, in my opinion.
Well, we did also get from Danielson. This is his last year.
Yeah.
Really?
So his matches are limited.
Wow. Really?
He promised his daughter when she hit 7 he would stop, and he came out last night and said that's his. She's 6 now, so we have a year left.
Wow. Okay. So
it's basically how he announced the Wrestle Dream pay-per-view and stuff.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. So I didn't catch that. Okay. So that's very interesting. So before we call this a really great episode, because this has been a great episode. We really appreciate everybody that's yes, absolutely, 100%, 100%. And everybody that's been involved in the chat, whether it be on YouTube or on Twitch, we really do appreciate y'all rocking with us. It's been great. So I wanna end it like this. And I wanna start it off with hype. What's your, as far as Bryan Danielson goes, and this being his last year, what do you see the American Dragon doing? I know he's kind of jumped into that role that CM Punk was in, to where it seems like he's going to kind of be a big voice and a big vocal point on Collision, which hell, I'll tune in for that shit if that's happening. Bryan Danielson is literally like my favorite wrestler. Like, he's been my favorite wrestler for a long time. So like, if he's going to be the vocal point, like, I'm in. But like, I'll also check it out because of the element of, even if he stops wrestling, maybe he'll still do stuff backstage. And we know there's been thoughts about that, as far as When he was general manager over on SmackDown and WWE, he was heavily involved in backstage situations. He's now going to be more heavily involved backstage in AEW, even though he already has been. But now his influence is just about to rise. Danielson is somebody that seems like he carries himself like an absolute consummate professional in the backstage area, which is a huge contrast from that last guy. It's great to see. So what do you think is going to end up hype with Bryan Danielson after this year is over and he calls it a career?
Yo, I don't think Bryan Danielson will ever be done with wrestling, even if he stops wrestling, man. He's still gonna continue in some path, and having him instead of toxic masculine male presence in the locker room, or as as a big voice even of the voiceless in the locker room, I think will be great, bro.
Yeah, I agree with that. Juice, what do you think about the future of what we might see with Bryan Danielson after his in-ring career is over?
He's not gonna be gone for long. He's gonna spend a few years with his daughter. He's gonna be right back in no time.
Yeah, that.
Think so? Okay, so
Yeah.
we could see, he'll be nice and healthy and rested by then. And these guys, they know how to get their bodies prepared months ahead of time for the next run. Voice, what do you think, bro?
I honestly, if you watch his interview in the ring last night, it sounds like this is what he's going to do, but I could see exactly what Jones and Jushin both alluded to, that he takes a little time off and then comes back. I have a flag off to the side of the American Dragon. As soon as that hit the AEW store, I bought it up. I've really liked him. He's such a unique person to bring to the ring to any organization, but yet he brings so much value in everything he does, whether it be his mind, whether it be his body of work, or on mic skills. He's an asset, and I'm all in for whatever he wants to do this last year. I want to watch it all.
Same here, man. Same here. Especially knowing what I know now, I'm definitely going to lock in. If they're going to center the show around him and Collision, that's going to give me even more of a reason to lock in. Just because, like, his contributions, Danielson is not like, he's not an old guy by any means, but he's an old guy in the business because he's been wrestling for so long.
Yeah.
And like, he's made many contributions to the business. He's been at the top of the top as far, like, this is a guy that can spend his time doing things that he wants to in wrestling or not, because it's like, I mean, WrestleMania 30, you know what I'm saying? Like, he had his pinnacle peak moment as a professional wrestler, had many runs with many different championships, Grand Slam champion over there in WWE, now doing great things with AEW, continuing to grow his brand. Ring of Honor was another one where he was super prominent at, and he's just doing kind of whatever he wants because he's grinded hard enough to be granted those opportunities. And he's always been somebody in the business, at least from my vantage point, that respects the business and gives back to the business whenever he can, when he's not, giving to his family or giving back to himself, which is, securing his long-term health for his family. So, like I said, this was a really great episode. Really enjoyed giving it to y'all. This is a little Sunday general discussion that we had here, and by the way, this one went, I think it's something that we can kind of throw into the rotation
Like this.
if possible, and I like it. So I want to go ahead and give my guys here an opportunity to plug whatever it is that they want to plug, and just let them know where you can be followed at and what you do, and just a chance to talk about yourself. You take those opportunities, you know what I'm saying? So, I want to give it over to my man for first time here on the show, and that's the voice, Josh Joseph. Go ahead and plug away, bro.
Well, thank you so much, Howse. First, foremost, I'd love to say I love working with Howse and everybody in the group. Household Productions is fantastic. It's so great to be here. You can also catch me on my Twitch channel, The Voice Joshua Joseph. In between each one's an underscore. You can catch all my older interviews from a moment with Joshua Joseph, which I'm thinking about starting back up. I got a couple feelers out there. There's a chance we might get to talk to a really cool guy that I've been following for about 5 years now. So other than that, man, you can catch me on all the socials. And I just wanted to lastly say thank you all for being in the chat, giving us everything. And Johnny Wicked, thank you for that last comment you just put up there. Yeah, that came in a box, blind box. Didn't know it was coming in it, but I got me a Briscoe's flag and I love it. I mean, you could see my studio. This is my passion. This is what I love to do. I love to be out there. I love to hyping up all the indie wrestlers, all these wrestlers, the production crew I work with, you guys. I love being a part of it. I love being in the chats during Tuesdays and just everything, man. So thank you all for allowing me to be a part of the household, man.
Right on, bro. Right on, bro. We appreciate you being a part of it and everything that you're bringing to the table, man. So keep grinding, keep working, keep growing, and just keep learning. Cause there's gonna be opportunities in this business. It's out there, bro. It's just what you want to take. And I'm gonna go ahead and throw it over to my man over here of many, many, many years. That's my man, Juice Incredible. Go ahead and plug anything that you got going on, the page, some of your graphic designs that you got going on. You've done many graphic designs for many different indie wrestlers. Go ahead and plug it that, bro. Go ahead and tell them all about you, bro.
No, I don't got much to say, but I do want to say if you follow the Facebook page, send us more stars. Those help us a lot.
Yes. Most definitely. Send those stars. Of course, once again, that's my man, Juice Incredible, social media manager there for the In Your House page.
Yo, don't be shy, Juice. Tell everybody about all your pages and everything.
Yeah, I was gonna say, throw it out there, bro.
Well, I got my Dragon Ball page, Gene Sama, strictly Dragon Ball. I don't talk about any other anime except One Punch Man because they can kick the Dragon Ball Z universe's ass, no problem. And I have a little conspiracy page called Civilian Intelligence Organization. I just post a bunch of cool technologies and stuff, occasional conspiracy theories, and that's about it. I don't really like to talk about that stuff.
Got you, bro. Well, of course, we love to have you come and talk about some professional wrestling, bro. And we definitely want you back on the show at some point. This isn't your first time, not going to be your last time. We're definitely going to bring you back. And that's going to bring me to, of course, my co-host, my consistent co-host. And that is, of course, my man, Hypocrisy Jones. Go ahead and plug anything that you want to plug away. And also, we kind of got a little announcement here as far as a guest that we're going to be having. I'm going to go ahead and give that courtesy to my man Hype. So go ahead and plug away and let him know what's up, bro.
Oh, bro, I get to drop the big news.
You get to drop the big news. I'm giving it to you, man. Bro.
This is a lot of pressure right now. I don't know if I can do all this. Yo, check it out. My name is Hypocrisy Jones. You can find me, everywhere at Hypocrisy Jones. Made it really easy for you, whether it's X or Twitter, whatever the fuck's called. On YouTube, on Facebook, or on whatever, you can find me there. But also, check me out on the Kokomo Press. It's at Kokomo at the Kokomo Press on YouTube. I do a lot of fun stuff there. We host a podcast there. We have a satire page on Facebook, so check out the Kokomo Press, bro. We're not your newspaper's newspaper, bro, because we're not a newspaper. But I do a lot of other things. Got a lot of other upcoming projects. Just did some things for an upcoming movie called Marijuambies. That's gonna be fun. Can't wait to tell you guys more about it. But right now, bro, I get to drop some big news for In Your House on Tuesday. So I hope all of y'all check this out. I hope all of y'all come back on Tuesday morning because we are going to have myself and Hollywood House, along with the manager of champions, him and herself, Pollo Del Mar, bro. Pollo Del Mar is going to be right here on In Your House, bro, and that is huge. Shout out to Pollo Del Mar. Shout out to also Pope and Pope's Point of View, who Pollo is a co-host for. But yo, we are going to cut up with Poyo. We got some really big plans um for Poyo when they come on. Can't wait. Yo, now I'm gonna kick the house. I got to do the
It's
thing.
gonna be big. It's gonna be big, man. It's gonna be big. Of course, that's NWA star, NWA manager, appeared on NWA on a regular basis, and also GCW as doing Effie's Big Gay Brunch, and that is Pollo Del
Huge.
Mar. Big Pollo is somebody who I've got a chance to work with through the podcast and whatnot, and get a chance to have formed a relationship with, and I got a chance to actually get some knowledge and be under the learning tree of Pollo Del Mar in person a few years ago when we were at a show together in Vegas. We were both working the show. We were both doing our manager thing, and it was a great opportunity to talk to Pollo and sit under that learning tree. Now Pollo is going to be coming to In Your House, and we've got some big things to talk about. Of course, Pollo was just on Busted Open Radio. Pollo doing great things for NWA, and Pollo is going to come and talk about the Pope's Point of View 200th episode that is going down this weekend. It's going to be a 2-week thing for 200, so 2 is the big number. Man, Pollo is going to come and talk about that. We're going to have some fun talking Pollo's career, and we're going to play a little bit of a game with Pollo. Pollo needs to come ready and prepared because we're going to introduce our new game, and that is That's True, That Might Be True, and That's Ridiculous. So basically, it's going to be a game where we're going to present a statement, and our guest, which this week is going to be Pollo Del Mar, has to tell us if that statement is true, it might be true, or it's ridiculous. And that's going to be a whole lot of fun. Guys, I really want to take this opportunity once again to thank you guys for being here in the chat, for my great co-host, for my great production team here. We got Hypocrisy Jones, we got the voice Josh Joseph, and Juice Incredible here. Appreciate y'all coming through. Thank you so much for coming through. And on behalf of the entire Household Productions team and In Your House team, we want to thank y'all. We want to get this thing ramping and rolling again. We got some great big guests coming down the line. We got some great things going on, and it's all looking up from here. So, guys, as far as following me and everything that I do, you can follow me at The Hollywood House on IG. You can follow me at Hollywood House. That's on X or Twitter or whatever you want to call it, and also that's on Facebook. And also, it's In Your House on all those social media platforms, and that's HOWSE, and the W stands for work. So, guys, I really appreciate y'all coming through. And, guys, until the next time we meet, when we have Pollo Del Mar, I need y'all to hop on this bandwagon. Get on or get gone. Because the household, we still going mighty strong. You guys have a great day and a great rest of your week. Peace.